You're going to tell me college football recruiting is clean and dignified, but college basketball recruiting is a cesspool. What would you say to that?
No, I think they're both. There are elements of both that are dirty, but you're certainly not going to have a scandal this far-reaching in the sport of football. You're just not, and that's inherent to the way that the sport works. And more importantly, the market value of the commodity at the heart of this entire thing.
This is a very now don't listen. You wouldn't turn the channel because Klatt's a genius. But this is a very interesting point I heard you make in the hallway. Talk about the commodity.
Okay, so if you want to strip this down, so take the labels off of the coaches and take the brands off of the programs and everything, okay? This is about the value of a commodity. And in the sport of basketball, the predictability of that commodity becoming a very valuable stock, if you will, or a valuable commodity is just pretty spot on, right?
It's much greater percentage.
You're going to have a great chance with that commodity versus the sport of football. Let's go through some of the factors. One is, if you look at five-star recruits, of the 24, 25 kids that were five-star a year ago, 14 were drafted in the first round. The 15th was drafted in the first pick of the second round last year. So you're going to have a chance. Now, where are they drafted to? The NBA, not the NFL. What is the NBA? Higher contracts, guaranteed contracts versus the NFL, which are rookie salaries, wage scales early in your career, and non-guaranteed money in your career is probably not going to go past 3.5 years. Okay, so the commodity in the sport of basketball is a much better investment than the commodity in the sport of football. So that's why you see bigger money being thrown at some of these kids
college basketball
in college
players.
basketball versus college football. Now, I'm not saying that schools in football don't pay for players. I know it happens, and it happens all the time. I'm just telling you that this large-scale type of corruption, if you want to call it that, is a basketball issue because of the value of the commodity, i.e. the player.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, listen, I can remember watching David Robinson play for Navy, and he made him a top 10 team.
Yeah.
David Robinson and four guys who couldn't make the best AAU basketball team in the country were a top 10 team. I can remember getting a call from a friend of mine named Brian Berger in Portland when Dwight Howard was like 12. He's like, I know the next great NBA center.
And here he is.
And we knew Kobe at 15.
Yeah.
In basketball, that one player can not only change your entire program. Carmelo by himself won a national title. I mean, by the way, USC's got 19 five-star guys. They're going to go up to Pullman and lose in 2 days. It doesn't.
Football, yeah, it's just so much harder. And think about all the players in this case now. You've got the schools that are involved. You've got the agents. You've got the financial planners. And you've got the shoe company. Well, all of them are going to hit on this investment. The return on investment is incredible into these players that are 17 and 16 years old. Because if they come to your school, like you just said, you're going to be good. And you're going to get a lot of money from it.
So the coach wins.
The coach wins. The agent, you're going to win too. Why? Because of what I just talked to you about. First-round draft pick,
what about
guaranteed
Adidas?
Contract. Adidas, the sport of basketball, sells shoes. Football doesn't. You don't go out there and just buy football shoes, but everybody wears kicks. Right? I mean, everybody wears basketball shoes. And so you're going to have a big return on investment from the shoe company and the financial advisor. So that's all. Now, I want to go a step further, if you don't mind.
Okay.
This entire conversation, situation, indictment, marketplace, if you will, is created by the guise of amateurism. If amateurism did not exist as we know it today in college sports, there would not be room for the shady black market that now exists. Okay, here's what happens, folks. The families and players are uniquely aware of their market value. They're also uniquely aware that they happen to derive that value based on one of two skills that you cannot monetize or capitalize until someone else has monetized it off of your back for at least a year or 3 in the sport of football. Football and basketball are the only two skills in our country that you cannot monetize when you're 18 years old. It's un-American. So the guise of amateurism creates the black market. If I'm a family and if I'm one of these players and I need to derive my market value and I need to capitalize on that for the well-being of myself or my family, guess what? I don't care where it comes from. So Adidas can pay me and that agent can pay me. I don't really care. I'll go to Louisville. I'm going to ball out for 1 year, and now I'm going to go get mine. I don't blame the players at all.
Oh, I never
Why?
blame the players
No.
for this
I'm
stuff.
not saying that you are. I'm just saying this entire thing is born out of amateurism. Did you know if you go to the NCAA website today, you can go right now if you're got a computer handy, ncaa.org, okay? You go to the amateurism section. One of the first terms that is thrown out is that amateurism is the bedrock foundation of the NCAA. It goes on to say, and I wrote this down because I don't want to get this wrong. It goes on to say, listen to this. Amateurism as defined by the NCAA is crucial to preserving an academic environment in which acquiring a quality education is first priority. You're telling me that's why you can't play players? Is because you're worried about their quality education? Were they worried about that quality education at North Carolina with those paper classes? Are they worried about that quality of education when they're getting kids into schools that have no business being in those schools in the first place and then propping them up artificially through shaky majors and paper classes in order to get them a degree so it doesn't hit their APR? That's a quality education? Basically, a fake degree is a quality education? The whole thing stinks,
So if you
and it's
pay
all born from the amateurism from the NCAA.
Look, I'm not anti-pay the players. Here's what bothers me, and this is a separate issue. If you want to pay the players, I'm not rigid on this. In fact, I've been saying for years, digital merchandising, you should write them a check the minute they leave school. If Tim Tebow made $8 million for the school, write him a check for $8 million. I don't care what it is. That doesn't bother me. Here's what I hate, though, when I hear this. Kids get nothing out of the experience. No, they meet 50, 80 football players
Sure.
they can know for life. They get a Stanford, LSU, Alabama education, travel, market. Don't tell me they don't get anything out of this.
And I would not be the one suggesting that they don't get anything out of it. Now,
You think they can deserve more?
I would tell you that the value that the NCAA and the schools would lead you to believe that they get out of it is not quite what they get out of it. Because
Okay.
remember, a scholarship is not a degree.
Right.
A scholarship is an opportunity to a degree. And then once you're there, because the conflicts with your sport, in particular in a sport like basketball, I don't think it's available to achieve the full value of the degree at that school that a normal student would get anyways. Now, we're getting far down the road.
Okay.
I want to go back to the point. Amateurism creates the marketplace. The family understands the value, and all the people that could potentially pay understand the return on the investment in the commodity. What did you think was going to happen? This was always going to happen.
Okay, I'm not saying it always wasn't going to happen, but it still comes down. Church scandals, sports scandals, and political scandals. If you get into church, if you're a pastor for the right reason, and a college basketball coach for the right reason, and a senator for the right reason, helping others, then those 2 a.m. walks as a married man on the Vegas Strip, it's not temptation. I can't get back to my room fast enough.
Sure.
You can't get back to your room fast enough. For the New Orleans politician, it's not temptation if you got into politics to help people
Yeah, I
that
don't
don't
disagree.
have the means. So people say, oh, Pitino's not the only guy to do it. Yeah, Pitino's not the only guy who got into college basketball. I think he got into it initially for the right reasons, but eventually he was in it for pinstripes, horses, and making money. Okay, here we go. Upset a pick of the week, by the way.
Now we got to get to college football.
Okay, we got a lot of stuff today, okay? I got a lot of stuff. I'm not even going to go upset because I think I know
You're
what
going
it is.
straight up.
I'm going straight up. You go first. I'll follow. We got a minute and a half.
Okay, I'm not taking the one that you want me to because there's a different one on the board. First of all, there's 2 games. They're both 7.5. Georgia is given 7.5. Clemson is given 7.5. I'm going to take Georgia because they're going to stomp Tennessee out. Butch
Yeah.
Jones might be done. But Virginia Tech is getting 7.5 hosting Clemson. Virginia Tech in the almost upset of the week, folks. That's going to be closer than Vegas thinks, and they might get the Tigers, I'm telling you.
And I will go even higher on this. Washington State
full boat?
will beat USC soundly on Friday.
Okay.
USC's got
Betting
the
against Sam
basketball
Darnold.
scandal. That coach well liked in the football coaching offices. Heavy heads and hearts at USC. They loved him. They are distracted. They're beat up.
Interesting.
The 5th straight bowl team they've played. They've had nobody in the country's open with 5 straight bowl games. They're beat up. And Washington State's biggest game in 20 years. And Wazoo's strength, quarterback receivers, is USC's weakness.
Okay.
Consistent pass rush and corners. Wazoo
I mean,
wins.
that's well thought out. There's one thing that leads me to believe that USC is going to be fine.
What's that?
He's wearing number 14. Right? I mean, right? He's going to be the best player in the field.
Wazoo 33, USC 23.
Oh.
Double-digit win. His name is Joel Klatt. You'll see him later today on Speak for Yourself, I imagine.
Yes.
Great
I'll
stuff.
Be here.
In LA, it's The Herd.
Thanks, bud.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for watching. We want you to subscribe here, to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.